I think we're good. Just said, yeah, we're recording.
All right, we are recording, Michael, the first of the
Beautiful.
Synergy member goal planning sessions that I'm doing today. It's New Year's Day when we're recording this, and you were just telling me that you like to think about goal planning, but it is a little bit daunting to do. What's been your relationship with goal planning?
I know I should do it, and I love doing it because I love that feeling of, oh, I'm prepared. I have an idea of where I want to go. But as with many other things, the execution has always been quite difficult, and especially staying on the plan, even when things start to get hard. Like it's been, especially for like New Year's goals, or like birthday, planning any goals has been quite difficult. I found over the years.
A lot of times, yes, they're difficult, but it's also that the method that we use to set it up doesn't build us in enough small wins
Mm,
or builds in only small wins and we don't see the finish line. It is so
mm,
satisfying to cross something off a to-do list. And if you set an annual goal that you just cross that finish line at the end of the year, there's no steps for you to enjoy along the way, then it
mm.
gets a little harder to follow during the whole year.
That makes sense.
So we've been using this vision activity with members, and I chose you from the people who wanted to because, again, I enjoy our conversations. Also, you're fairly new. It's been in a month. Another person I'll be helping out's been in 6 months. Another
Oh
person's
wow,
been 2 or 3 years. So across the spectrum, I want to show that setting goals up in this strategy, and I would love to follow in at the end of the year, is a great way to do it.
that's awesome.
So you did the first step. For the people listening, for the members who are using some guidance, the first step is to write a vision in the future, like it's a story that day of what you did through the year where you are in current time. Now, Michael sent his over, and if you don't mind, I'll give it a read. Is that cool?
Yeah, that's cool.
Cool. And I appreciate you again with the vulnerability, being able to write it out, and
Yeah,
hopefully I
definitely.
can read it because my old eyesight, my laptop's a little small, but so again, the key is being in the future so you can feel it like it's part of your story. I see myself on December 31st, 2021, gathered with my girlfriend, friends, family, and other new people, spending intentional time together as we ring in the new year. After my work, I came from my house with an entree to share for dinner that is healthy and maybe vegan. At dinner, I was able to interact with the table, passing conversation along and living with confidence. My inner critic did not control my thoughts and cause fear. Rather, confidence felt natural and I thrived in the social environment. Later, I went live on Instagram and, with a ton of followers, prayed for the new year and all it had to bring. Finally, after dinner, in the live meeting, I went to the bathroom and looked in the mirror. My skin is clear, and my face was clean and free of acne. I was finally proud of my fitness level. My body was in shape and toned, and exercise was a deep part of my life. I left the bathroom and rejoined the group as we rang in the new year together. I had become a better, quote unquote, better Michael, but the version of me that is, or I had become not a better Michael, but the version of me that is most realistic to who I truly am. Make sure I get that right because that's an important point. Okay. Beautifully written vision, Michael. I
Thank you.
appreciate you writing that and sharing it. And there's some cool goals in there.
Cool. Thank you.
So here's our first step. The first step is building up wins. So to think
Mm.
over this past year, the things that have actually already happened, what positive steps have you taken? I wanted to take a minute and write down a list. Now, a minute's not going to do your list full justice, but for the sake of the call, you started your music, which helps with confidence. You signed up at the gym to help with your fitness. So I'm going to give you a minute to jot down some wins from the last year.
Yeah. I would say, yeah. So definitely music. I put an album out into the music scene, so that was pretty cool. For confidence and then synergy as well. I also did start trying to work on like some of my diets and as well. My girlfriend is vegan, so I think that was more of just a happenstance that I started to try to eat a little bit better. Um, and then skin wise too, I just started trying to figure out like a skincare routine. So I bought a few products that have been working pretty well. Um, and then for just like community too, and the aspect of really growing with people, I've decided to really try to say yes to more things. So especially like even just yesterday, like I had kind of like a game night with people that I wasn't normally going to do on New Year's Eve, even though I kind of wanted to spend the night in. I was like, well, I'm just going to do this anyway because I need to spend time with people.
Yes, as I gather, fellow introvert, that it's easier just to stay home by yourself if it's not leading you towards your vision. Then saying yes more often, having that yes theory. I was just talking to another member, Pauline, who wrote a book on it. Maybe it was called or read
Oh,
a
wow.
book on it called The Year of Yes. I think it
Mm.
was called, where they just try to be more intentional about it. So I like that habit. You have your fitness habit started. You started a uh, informal eating regimen with your girlfriend. So you've started a lot of things which are you should be writing down and get like a big positive
Mm.
list. And again, for the sake of the call, we'll keep it shorter, but I want you to work on that positive side of the list continuing after the call. Now, on the flip side, I'm going to give you a couple minutes to think about it. You don't have to reply right away, but I want you to write some down. What are some challenges you're going to face this upcoming year for this vision to become true? What are some
Mm.
roadblocks you anticipate? And that, before it would have been, I don't know where to work out, or I don't know how to eat. Like anything like that,
Mm-hmm.
I want you to take a couple minutes and write down some challenges that you anticipate having to overcome this year.
I have like a few. I don't know how long you wanted to
All
go
right, we
for.
can start with a few, but do understand, put some more time into it after
Yeah.
the call, because I want to teach you the strategy. We don't need to dive into every little bit, but a lot of people won't be able to do the call. So I would like them to be able to independently do it. So it's good. You have a few. Go ahead and read them off if you don't mind.
One of the roadblocks, at least for the health stuff, is I don't know how to cook like at all. Um, and then my sleep schedule has been a big roadblock. It's not consistent. So that has hindered like gym or like working out and even trying to eat better, like say in the mornings, with not having enough time to get to, to do work or do any of the stuff I need to do. Um, and then let's see. Uh, I mean, and some of it too with like some of it too is just like I'm also in between jobs, so like money. I don't have a lot of stuff to invest in myself, other than just time. Um,
Well, there's okay. I'm sorry. I don't want to jump in yet. Go ahead.
oh, you're good. Oh shoot. That was the bigger three. One I kind of wrote down, but I wrote it really quickly, so I don't know what it said.
Okay. Okay. Perfect. So the last one, um, in between jobs. And I know contribution was a part of your vision, contributing socially. And
Mm,
there's really three ways to think about contribution. It could be of your fortune, your money, they say. It could be of your time, or it could be of your talent. Now, if you don't have one, you're certainly loaded in the other. Right now, if you're in between jobs, you have the time and certainly talents to share with the world, as you have with your music. Um, so what you're going to do with each of these challenges is break them down to some to-dos to help solve them. So if you
mm,
have the time for a few months, maybe it's, and again, I'm just guessing, maybe it's write one song, or spend time sharing your music with others. Maybe it's not creating something new. Whatever that means for you is to try to think in 30 days, What can I do to move the needle a little bit on this challenge? An easy example for this video would be the nutrition one. So the challenge is you don't know how to cook yet. So a very easy to do out of that challenge would be learn one new recipe this month. It is supremely doable. You don't have to learn how to use every tool in the kitchen, but it's going to take some trial and error to simply learn one new recipe this month. Does that sound doable?
I think so. Yeah, I could probably do that.
Yeah, you could check that off and start moving it towards the plus side. And if you do that for 12 months, you have 12 new recipes or variations of those recipes. You'll have a whole repertoire of things by the end of the year. But if you just think, I don't know how to cook, I need to learn everything about cooking to be successful, that's not true. All you need to do is learn the first recipe, then the second recipe, and a couple of variations.
Really good.
So I like to use this graphic. I use it with our staff. I'm going to show you a picture. My handwriting is terrible. I think I can get this on presentation mode. So don't hold my handwriting against me.
That's okay.
Can you see my sailboat?
Almost. Yeah, there you go.
Okay. So this is how we do the activity. Draw a sailboat. Everything that is helping us towards our vision and our goal are kind of the winds in the sail. We put the blue Post-it notes up top by the wind. Below the water are our anchors, challenges or roadblocks that are going to hold us back from living the vision that we want throughout this year. Those aren't bad. They're just the anchor right now. So we need to take those Post-its or those things on your list, turn them into to-dos, solve them over 30, 60, or 90 days, and then move them to the top. And if you're intentional about solving those challenges, while keeping a visual of your successes so you don't lose track of those, you'll be able to move more things towards the top. And unlike a lot of other people who say, hey, either I'm going to achieve it, yes or no, you'll see progress towards your goal every month as you move forward.
Oh, wow.
Does that help you out?
Yeah, that's really cool.
It's these simple psychological games that we need to play with ourselves to take all the willpower, as much willpower out of self-improvement as possible. If you get up in the morning and say, all right, I'm going to discipline myself to do all these things, you're run out of willpower. You're going to get fatigued. It's going to screw up your fitness. It's going to screw up your stress level. It's going to screw up your sleeping, which you already said is screwed up. But if you get up and say, all right, well, I need to learn one new recipe this month. Today, I'm going to look and try to find 10 that I might be interested at, and I'll just list them out. And then the next day, you know what? Next week, I'm going to get the ingredients and make one of these. And then, so you move forward each day, and it's not an overwhelming amount of willpower.
Oh, wow. That's really good. I have a pretty big size whiteboard in my room, so I actually probably will draw the boat. I could do that and
yeah, I love the bow and the Post-it notes. It sounds silly, but that visual, you see it, and it feels good along the way to take a Post-it off the bottom. Gotcha. Throw it away. Put a new one up top.
That's awesome.
So that could help with the nutrition. Again, it depends on your personal taste. You said your girlfriend's vegan, so you might want to learn one of those recipes eventually.
Yeah.
Maybe February's hey, I'm going to learn how to make a vegan meal for Valentine's Day or something like that.
That's a good idea.
Just move forward. So that is the simple process. You write your vision, you figure out what you're doing well, you figure out what the challenges are going to be, and you spend each month trying to move a little bit of the challenges to the going well column. At the end of the year, that vision, which is a beautiful one that you wrote, is much more likely to come true. So here's my recommendation for you, Michael, is to print out your vision, tape it right next to your whiteboard, draw the boat, draw the positive blue Post-it notes, draw the ones that are challenges. And again, challenges aren't negative. Challenges are good things because that's where you actually will see the growth. And then start solving them one at a time and start moving them. And it almost becomes an obsession where you're like, well, I could take a whole month, but I really want to solve this because I want to move that Post-it note up top and see the progress. And fill them with some things you can get easy wins on, and keep that vision taped up there. Does this sound like a good plan?
I think so. That's going to be, that's really cool.
What other questions can I help with since we're on the call?
Um, I guess how would you deal uh how would you deal with the like those days or like maybe even like a month where you just like don't want to do something or like you just there's just no motivation to go through with these goals.
Yeah, so there's two tips for you. I'm very glad you asked that. The first tip is to understand the minimum effective dose. It's a medical
Mm,
term, the least amount of the medicine you need to take to get the result you need. And that is to say, all right, well, I'm not really in the mood for working out or even, working on this recipe. I can do it for 5 minutes. I can do anything for 5 minutes. I'm just gonna do five
mm,
minutes today. And then you do your 5 minutes and that's it. That at least moves you forward. And the trick is the likelihood if you give yourself, all right, I can do it for 5 minutes, you give yourself the freedom to stop or the freedom to continue if you're doing fine. A lot of times you'll do it for 5 minutes, you'll be like, well, this isn't bad. I'm gonna do it for 10 minutes and 15 minutes
mm,
and move ahead a little bit further because the hardest step is getting the momentum up front. So it's letting yourself have the freedom to say, all right, I can stop this after 5 minutes. I'll just give it 5 minutes, whether it's cooking, learning, writing, working on your music, going to a social gathering. Like, all right, I'll just stop in for 5 minutes.
mm,
Yeah. And after that, completely cool. There is no negativity if you choose to leave. I got to go. If that's what you need in that time to give yourself the space to recover for some self-care, that's cool too.
mm. That's
And
really cool.
the second thing is, as you work through the year, is to identify what we call foundational habits. Those are the one or two things that you have no problem doing and help you move towards your vision. So, for example,
Mm,
for me, fitness is a foundational habit. I enjoy the feeling of working out. I have no problem doing it. Even if I eat crappy food, I will still be like, all right, well, I can still go work. I can still go and enjoy my time
mm,
at the gym. My foundational habit is not eating because I know that'll go up and down. So I can't force myself into eating good every day, but I can not force myself and still go work out or go for. So for some people, it's go for a walk. We have a gym member, Debbie. Her foundational habit is walking. No matter what, 20 minutes. If she does longer,
mm,
but 20 minutes she'll go for a walk, and that's an enjoyment for her. So it's to find a couple things on your positive side that you make your foundational habits to say, no matter what, I'm going to do these things, and I'll understand that that is helping me towards my vision.
mm. Wow, that's really cool.
Does that? Yeah. Okay. I'm glad that
Yeah,
helped.
definitely.
And it is, it's true in a lot of things in life that, there's a couple of the most important pieces. It's called the 80-20 rule. Like there's 20% of
Mm,
those items that you list down will get you 80% of your results. If you can find one and just say, hey, I'm going to do this all the time and understand I'm going to move forward towards my results, choose something that you enjoy, choose something that's easy for you to do. So
mm,
psychologically, you're still building up wins even during tough times.
mm. That's really helpful. Thank you so much.
Oh, my pleasure, Michael. I enjoy talking. You asked a great question. So I'm going to ask you, have any more?
Yeah, I
What
guess
else?
my other question was, so I know the vision story is like not super like quantitative.
Mhm.
How like how much should the goals be like is there room for goals to be kind of just like very like do they have to be super like number heavy or
Yeah,
like
they
what do
have
you
to
find is
be
the best way?
smart goals for your vision. And I'm glad you asked this because I forgot to mention earlier that usually you want to redraft it 3 or 4 or 5 times and
Mm,
add a little bit to it, take a little bit to it. During those redrafts, you can start to quantify some things. I love goals, not necessarily to be quantified per se, but to be able to say yes or no, whether was it completed or not.
mm. It's like
That's
measurable, I guess.
yeah, exactly. And perhaps it's not as good of a vision statement or story, but you can put some bullet points by it. It'll probably come up in your what's going well and what do I need to work on. So maybe your I don't know how to cook. You can say to yourself, well, if I knew how to cook 10 recipes or 20 recipes, then I would say I know how to cook. So then you have like
Mm,
a finish line in mind. Otherwise, you'll always be cooking to reach a goal that doesn't exist. Um, but something like the skincare regimen would be a little bit tougher to quantify if it works or not. That would be up to your own personal preference. So that is something I wouldn't put the pressure on quantifying, but I
Mm.
would choose a couple that you can quantify and use them. Like for fitness, a great one is an attendance-based quantification. I
Mm.
did 8 workouts this month.
Oh wow.
It's simple, it's easy to do, or 12 workouts is really helps with progress.
Mm.
Where I see people go wrong with quantifying is that they try to quantify too much. They'll say, I need to burn, if let's see what's reasonable. 10,000 calories this month, do 100,000 steps, walk 5 miles, and eat no more than 2,000 calories a day. And they throw out all these things that are just too overwhelming to
Mm.
track and sets themselves up for failure if one piece falls apart. So I would start quantifying the simple stuff. And that is usually from where you're at, just starting the fitness would be attendance. I'm going to do 8 workouts this month.
Mm.
That could be yes or no if you worked on your fitness, or 12. Starting out 12 is a great number. It's less than half the days of the month.
That's really good. Yeah. That's like 3 a week, I think. Yeah. That's
Yeah,
cool.
3 a week, whether it's coming to the gym with us or it's you get close to the end of the month and you realize you're only sitting at 10. Well, today I'm going to go for a 60-minute walk, and tomorrow I'm going to go for a 60-minute walk.
Mm.
It takes the stress out of a lot of the goal setting.
That's really good. Thank you.
That, again, was a good question. Smart goals from a business perspective, when we do our leadership meetings, we try to do as many as possible to move us forward. But when you're doing your own personal vision and living your life that is across a lot of different categories, choose what winning looks like to you, and then the steps that move forward, because it's personal.
Mm. That's really cool. Awesome.
Any other questions I can help you with?
I think those were my only two, really. Definitely have a lot of thinking and writing to do.
Perfect. And I do want to say again, and I am proud of you for sharing your visions. Again, we are relative strangers that I only talked to at the gym a couple times, but for you to raise your hand and say, hey, here's where I want to go, shows to me that you are probably going to be one of those people who actually gets there as well. So it's very impressive, and I am impressed with you. I appreciate you doing this.
Thank you. I appreciate that. It means a lot.
Keep me posted. Let me know if I can help along the way, okay?
Definitely. Thank you so much.
Happy New Year. My pleasure. I'll talk to you
You
soon.
too. See ya.